thank Clint for being here and giving us this program. Clint's been a ham since 1994 when he found his niche in the hobby, working satellites with minimum equipment and telling everyone about it. He has served as a liaison between NASA, the ARIS team, and schools coordinating amateur radio contacts. He orchestrated a very successful ARIS contact, which is amateur radio in the International Space Station. And audiences never find his presentations wordy or dull. Trivia questions are included throughout, so the audiences are not bored. For reference, Clint has created a support website, which is on the screen right now, and I'm sure there'll be more in the presentation about this. Professionally, Clint was sales manager for ADI, Premier Communications, Prime. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but and worked for Motorola, two-way dealer for a couple of years, and Ham Radio Outlet. He resides in Jurupa Valley, California, with his wife, Karen, and their rescue lab. We are fortunate tonight to have Clint, also a new member of Mars, very special, here tonight. So with that, I pass it over to you, Clint.
But first, little intro here. I see a couple of you are about as old as I am, in your 90s, 95, 96. Do you remember this? Remember that? The Morse code of love? No, we don't want any more of that. Anybody remember that song? I guess not. I thought that was funny. My wife was stuck in traffic in Southern California yesterday afternoon on a freeway, which is so unusual for Southern California. And this was on the 60s channel. And so we're trying it out tonight and might not do it again, dear, but I still love you. Okay. All right, so let's get back to our real presentation here. Okay, no, that's not it. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's the wrong presentation. Ah, shoot. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's get back to the other. I'm sorry. There we go. MetroCrest. Everybody have a full screen of MetroCrest now? Yes. Awesome. We're going to talk about working amateur radio satellites with equipment most of you already own. But for you Zoomers, before we begin, little housekeeping chores for the Zoomers. Restrooms, if you go out the door and turn left, you'll find the restrooms. And if you go out the door and turn the other way, you'll find a refrigerator full. And Daryl has let you eat anything you want this evening. Anything in the refrigerator you can find. KG5E, Daryl, what a guy. We do not want to see that on the next expense report. So Daryl, thank you. Food provided. How cool is that? I think you might tell by the disheveledness, by the Van Gogh Starry Night shirt, this is making its debut this evening, that we're going to try and have some fun here. Charles Schultz of Peanuts fame, try not to have a good time. We're supposed to be learning stuff. There's your Carrollton newspaper. Everybody see this morning? Is this on? Is the mic on? Is the mic on? You didn't see that this morning?
We're good.
Front page. But for real, thank you so much for putting this on your Facebook page and on your website. And I want to talk about your webmaster in a couple minutes. That is a very special person. Let's say a new ham in your region looks for the search terms Carrollton Amateur Radio or Carrollton Ham Radio. Do you know what position your club comes up in Google ranking? Somebody yell it out. Between 1 and 20, please. Somebody yell it out.
Sorry, there's a mic. Now, we think it's like 1 or very high.
You are indeed correct. Number 1. Number 2, you are the top 5 of 8. We'll get rid of that West Georgia group later, but 5 out of 8. So anytime you see your webmaster, is that Mike?
That is
Mike.
Mike.
MDB?
Yep, it is Mike.
Increase his salary and high five him. Companies pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. Don't laugh. Companies pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for hit results like this. Mike knows what he's doing. Don't lose him. Don't lose him.
We've told him many times we've got the best ham radio website probably in North America.
It is a very pleasant website to browse on, and you have the iOS handheld device part. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Well, we were all watching this week, weren't we? Please, you're going to hear Dr. Jane Rigby. That's her project. That's her baby. That's her project. She's an astrophysicist at Goddard. You'll be hearing a lot about her as these wonderful images come down from the Webb telescope. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you a secret. Dr. Jane's favorite joke. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Okay.
That's a good one.
Hey, Daryl and David gave me the mic for 4 hours. You guys are stuck with this. So here is a picture, a phenomenally clear picture, 2,000 light years away. It makes you wonder why. Bank of America can't get somebody 20 feet away. I mean, if he was out there, it'd be cool. Just incredible. Just incredible. Your tax dollars at work. Now, our dear little helicopter on Mars is feeling it. It doesn't want the attention drawn away from her. They're shutting it down for a couple of weeks to clear some dust and debris off of it. But here's a question for you. Ingenuity is on Mars, but which other planet other than Earth have we sent an unpowered aircraft to and made a successful flight? Anybody know the answer to that? Mercury, Venus, Pluto, or Neptune? Another unpowered aircraft.
We've got
that's
Neptune
correct.
And Venus.
That's correct. It's Venus, the balloon that we launched off of Venus. Very good. This is a great group.
They're smart.
Let's review 2021. A little over a year ago, we were all watching this spectacular from Perseverance on Mars. We went to bed, and the second image came down. A little grainy still, a little grainy. Then the high res photos the next day, the color. Mesa, Arizona. And on April 1st, the first secret was released. They found out where all the lost socks are that we cannot find in the dryer. All right, let's keep going. But seriously now, it's a fun group. We're gonna have a great time. International Space Station had a very busy 2021. It's in its 21st year of continuous human occupation. Science, there's more than 300 experiments at any given time being run. 2 new modules were added and 18 tour vehicles were at the station throughout the year. A total of 23 humans called the ISS their home in 2021. And if you go to nasa.gov, you'll just pick up just these spectacular photos. We had a little problem early last year. The cable for our 2-meter 440 antenna on the Columbus module, the US module, they replaced the jumper cable. It had 5 more ports in it for a future commercial client. But when they connected it, it just wiped out our feed line. It's a short or something. And we thought, we're going to be down for 6 months for our crossband repeater and for our slow scan TV from Columbus. But within 3 weeks, they found where they had stowed it on a cargo vehicle. And there it is. I guess they didn't originally go to HRO and get theirs, but there it is. and they got it back in for us. Did you hear about this last year? The Russians sent a cargo ship to the ISS. It docked successfully, but then its thrusters came on. It didn't know where it was. This turned the ISS 1.5 revolutions. This was not dramatic or throwing people against the wall or anything, but this definitely was not right. There's the Russian vehicle. There it is down there on its where it attached. For your Christmas party. Somebody always asks, hey, how many parking spots are there on the ISS? And the answer is 8. But if you don't write anything else down tonight except for this, tinyurl.com/parking job, you will hear 15 minutes of audio between Russia and Houston. Oh, so Cold War-ish. battling each other to try and stabilize the ISS. You'll be very proud of the professionalism, both from the Russians and Americans. tinyurl.com/parking job. And then China and Russia will blow things up just to show that they can do it. And the debris trail, though, is in low Earth orbit for a lot of these things. And where is the ISS? In low Earth orbit. So they had 2 times last year had to go into a cargo vessel to protect themselves just in case something happened. There's what's being tracked at low Earth orbit on a minute-by-minute basis, from nuts and bolts to a screwdriver to pieces of broken satellites. You're going to hear a lot in the next 10 years about projects to literally vacuum some of this stuff up and get it out of the way. I just want to share with you 2 of my favorite photographs from NASA. This is shuttle silhouette. Isn't that gorgeous? That is the Endeavour on her last mission, heading towards the ISS. Shuttle silhouette. Here is another phenomenal photo, in my humble opinion. Who knows what apparatus this is? This is the Parkes 64-meter radio telescope down under. It gave us those wonderful grainy images of Apollo 11. But look at that, look underneath the focus cabin. See that streak of light? That's the Space Shuttle Orbiter Atlantis that just undocked from the ISS. But it gets better, folks. Look to the right. Look to the right. That's the ISS. They're 3 minutes apart on this time-lapse photography. So we have no shuttle program in the U.S., and this is bringing goosebumps to my arms. Just a phenomenal photo. I need to thank John Sarkisian of Parkes to be able to use this photo. Okay, guys, if your significant other thinks it's getting a little messy in the shack, just let him or her know that it could be worse. In the circle is our brand new, it's a year old now, our new Kenwood 2-meter 440 TMD 710 AG, I believe. But yeah, it gets a little busy and hectic up there. We're just these are just introductory as we have the 15 more people in the parking lot come on in. So we just got a couple minutes of warm up here. Hammer Outlet has every year they do a little thing out in the parking lot. It's best if you work these satellites we'll be talking about in true full duplex mode. That means you can hear the downlink from the satellite as you key your mic and talk. That allows you to know you're getting into the satellite. It also lets you know if you actually stepped on someone. But we don't have a currently manufactured radio that does true full duplex in both VHF up, UHF down, and the opposite, in both those modes. So I'm wearing a headset in the foreground. In the background is a gentleman with a second setup, 20 feet away. I was using the Arrow there. He's using the Elk in the back. Volume up so folks can hear what's going on. How can you do this with just one person? Second radio, or use a scanner to receive. The signal coming down on 2 meters is really strong for the ISS. I'm at the 148th time I've given this show. I haven't bored myself yet. I'm still excited about this. We're going to talk about the Arrow commercial antenna. It's a little heavy. It's 3.5 pounds, a little front heavy. And I have added that little hacksaw handle there to improve ergonomics. We'll talk about that later. The story behind this is that my wife bought me a Dremel tool one birthday, and I had to start cutting up something. But there it is. It's insulated.
Steve, no. Steve, no. We have another Dremel tool fan.
Cool. It now has USB ports on it, but it's insulated. It's cool. It's got a handle. My wife thought of that. Thank you, dear. She's put up with me for 35 years, guys. Any engineers? Any engineers in the club?
The room's
Show of hands
full
for
of them.
engineers. Okay, then this is for you guys. I will take my. Should I do it?
Yes. Go. Yeah.
It's show and tell time.
Okay, all right. I will take my egg beater antenna out to the shows. I'll put it up on a rotator and call it my souffle antenna. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay. Egg beaters are wonderful conversation starters. They're okay for general receive, but my $15 tape measure beam will outperform my $302 M squared egg beater all the time, all the time. Here's my QSL card at the Los Angeles County Fair a few years ago. The gentleman on the right is not a ham, and he is so inebriated, he's looking for the little people in my hand that are talking to us. We just worked 3 countries at 2 watts. I didn't say counties, I didn't say cities. Mexico, the US, and Vancouver, British Columbia, 2 watts, with, of course, a better antenna. This is what got me excited about this, knowing that we can do this with low power. Why did I turn it down to 2 watts? Well, what's the maximum for amateur radio operators? Use the least amount of power necessary to make it happen? Yeah, that's it. All right, MetroCrest, do you remember the year you became an ARRL affiliate? Anybody? Except for the board members. Daryl and David, you can't answer. Anybody remember?
I don't think we remember.
Okay, well, that's because it was so long ago, 35 years ago, 1987, you have been supporting the ARRL, and thank you so much for that. Who, with a show of hands, who is a member of the ARRL?
Oh, the whole room.
The whole room. Okay, who is not yet a member of the ARRL? Okay, and who just refuses to raise their hands in Zoom meetings? Okay, for the 2 of you that aren't, just talk to any of your fellow club members. The ARRL is our largest lobbying body for amateur radio interests. They usually get it right. Your membership will get you QST magazine every month. You'll get a new email address, new forwarding address, your call sign at ARRL.org. Anybody using the equipment insurance plan through ARRL?
Yeah.
A bunch of you. Okay, outstanding. I've been with State Farm for more than 40 years. The premium with ARRL is less than what State Farm could offer me. It's all done online. You very rarely will talk to Cheryl because everything's done online, but it's $1.40, I believe, per $100 evaluation. Current day replacement cost with a $50 deductible per occurrence. There's also club liability insurance. So your members going to and from the club meetings or to your events are covered. They offer a lot, and everything's available for you at arrlinsurance.com. Another organization I volunteer for is AMSAT, AMSAT, Amateur Radio in Space. We were founded in 1969 as a nonprofit. Our mission is to build satellites and to disseminate information about them to the planet. We are international in scope. Bo, I think there's at least 20 chapters worldwide. And we are a 501c3. You can leave us in your estate. The only people that will be upset will be the grandchildren, but you won't be around to hear them. So that was tacky. That's tacky. Oh my God! And Bo is my boss too. So oh man, I love AMSAT. I love AMSAT. The third organization I volunteer a bunch for is ARIS, Amateur Radio aboard the International Space Station. Not only do they get equipment up there, but they're the organization that coordinates those wonderful interviews that students have with an astronaut aboard the orbiting International Space Station. So most of you folks already have these bookmarked, my 3 A's, ARRL, AMSAT, and ARIS. All right, here we go. You see that parabolic antenna just to the left of center? Little circular, that's not ours, but I just really, really like that photograph. Anybody, they're awake. Anybody working with or playing with Raspberry Pis?
Several.
Couple hands up. We have a new set. We had 3s before. We have 2 new Raspberry Pi 4B pluses up, and they're exactly like this one with a Sense hat. I don't have that $4,000 case that was mandated by the space agencies, but mostly kids from Europe, middle school and high school students are sending programs to these Pis. Here is a middle school student's project measuring defoliation in Africa. Can you imagine her first job interview? Yeah, I've written some code. It's on the ISS right now. Would you like to see information about defoliation? Oh man, this is exciting. This is mainly the main thrust is from the European Space Agency. There's Tim Peake. There's some middle school kids getting their participation certificates. Here are the 2 new 4Bs we have on board. one with the ultra wonderful, there's a marketing phrase, one with the wonderful Pi camera and the other with the SenseTat. Those are on board now. astro-pi.org. If you want to see a wonderful marketing, teaching, STEM curricula, astro-pi.org, curricula for all ages. And then who's gone outside before dawn or after dusk and actually seen the ISS streak across the sky? Oh, thank you. Oh my God, I love this group. I love this group. I was at my Home Depot. No, excuse me. This is at Best Buy. Best Buy. I couldn't speak this young man's language in front of me right here, but as soon as I said International Space Station and we saw the second brightest thing in the sky, here's 6 or 7 people trying to document it. There's Commander Reed Weissman, and some hams think that this is the ultimate in FM simplex contacts. NA1SS, Kilo 6, Lima, Charlie, Sierra.
Kilo 6, Lima, Charlie, Sierra. This is NA1SS 2 Alpha, GX.
Commander Weissman, thank you very much for what you're doing for amateur radio this weekend, K6LCS. If that looks like me about 20 pounds to go with a non-full duplex radio, it's the ASU FT60, and a $15 tape measure beam, talking to a gentleman 465 miles downrange when we started with 2 watts. It's because it is. There's that much gain, 7 to 8 to 9 dB gain in that little antenna. This is cool. This is cool. And in the last 2 weeks, we've had a lot of the voice simplex contacts with the ISS, unplanned, but one of the astronauts just broke free for several hours at a time, several orbits for us. So just watch. The frequencies are coming up, and you probably already have them. I was also fortunate to orchestrate one of those wonderful ARIS contacts at historic Flabob Airport in Hangar 16, which is Chapter 1 of the EAA, Experimental Aircraft Association. Our city had just incorporated. We're California's newest city. The new city council was there. Our school board was there. More importantly, the 20 students were there. This is a year's worth of planning. Some of you already know this. A year's worth of planning for a 15-minute contact. It worked Monday. It worked Wednesday. It worked Thursday. We had an audio problem the day of the event in front of 287 people. This guy right here is sweating. If NASA knew I was turning down the pot for incoming, if they knew I was manipulating the pots for every question and answer, they would have just said, no, we'll do it later. Have a nice day. But we pulled it off. We talked to Don Pettit, and we got ourselves on front page, color photo, above the fold in California's 6th largest daily newspaper. We were just praying that Paris Hilton didn't get drunk the night before and bump us off the front page. But the kids got great coverage where they belonged. Okay, NPR was there. Anyway, NPR, local channel 4. We had a wonderful time. So let's see, what did you guys want me to talk about tonight? Working amateur satellites with your handheld radio. And who am I to tell you about this? A lot of you have been doing this and know this. I've only been a ham since 1994. Involved with Motorola for a few years, which was just some wonderful municipal contracts and projects. I also worked at Ham Radio Outlet here in Anaheim, California for a few years. Again, you're the 148th crowd that I'm boring with this presentation. I live in Parupa Valley, California, about 45 miles east of Los Angeles, with my dear wife, Karen, who, again, has put up with this for 35 years. I love you, dear. Karen's in the background. She's handling the chat room for me and also audio chores. And we have a beautiful rescued lab. Her name is Freya. And you can bet with those ears, we do some 1.2 out in the backyard every once in a while.
Those are high gain ears.
And she found herself a friend at Disneyland, and they participate back and forth every once in a while. Okay. Yeah, get that image out of your head. All right, let's demolish some preconceptions. You already know the answer to these two. You need a minimum of 100 watts, the expensive Yaesu rotator, and multiple Yagis on the roof. Do you need all that information? Of course you need all the equipment. Yeah. Well, we have a friend here, Dr. Fauci, who's going to answer that for us.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
That would be impossible.
Yeah, you're absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Fauci. But it's an expensive proposition, isn't it, Clint? Is it an expensive group? Well, we have a friend of us all, Jack Nicholson.
No, it's not.
No, it is not expensive. Most of you already have the necessary equipment. There's the iconic ICOM W32A early serial numbers. That was the true full duplex rig. A dear friend of ours who's since passed has, let's see here, 9,000 contacts with that Anley. Remember the Anley AL800 antenna, BNC, 18 inches compressed, but it's expanded about 14 feet, putting all that stress on your radio. Well, for 2-meter receive, just a better duck will be fine for you. Receiving the slow scan TV from the ISS, oh, that's a phenomenally strong signal. We're picking that up and decoding that with stock ducks. But you want some more directionality and more gain to properly work them both up and down. So for 2-meter receive on those slow scan TV projects we'll talk about, stock duck, that 2-meter signal coming down from the ISS, the engineers will tell you it's 4 or 5 times greater than a comparable 440 signal. You can hear it from 5 degrees above the horizon. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Knowledge is power. Now, Daryl told me he had coffee with Sir Francis Bacon just okay, sorry. Do not do age jokes. I'm sorry. I apologize. Knowledge is power. All right. Let's see. I'm in California. Who can tell me, please? Anybody got the time, please? What time is it?
It's time for an Amber Alert.
Okay. Well, let's
7:36.
Shall we listen to that first? Is
You've
it
been
being followed
upstaged by
with
an Amber Alert. It's okay.
Okay. Tell me when I can continue. Because we have
Continue.
just 3.5 hours. Okay, cool. Okay, who can tell me what time it is, please? Nobody has said. Can anybody see the screen? What time is it?
Trivia time.
Thank you so much. It's trivia time. Oscar is an acronym, Carrollton. Oscar stands for what? Oscar, OSCAR.
Ring satellite carrying amateur radio.
Go, Daryl.
Yeah, I know Daryl knows. Daryl knows. You're absolutely correct. It is not this. It is not that. It is orbital satellite carrying amateur radio. And here is the United States Oscar 1. If that looks like some sheet metal and some rivets, it's because it is. There's its builder. It's built here in Central California. Look at that high-tech componentry. It worked. Anybody hear this? It just emitted HI in Morse code, a few revolutions of the Earth. Nobody's going to admit they're that old. That's cool. That's cool. $60. Remember that dollar amount. Look at the Dymo label maker tape. Remember it came out white on black, but then they came out with a wood grain Dymo. Exciting stuff. Oscar 1. I apologize for this slide. Way too many words on it. I just want you to know that Oscar 1 was in 61. Oscar 2 failed. Oscar 3 was our first amateur transponder satellite. There's been more than 115 Oscars. Russia's always been involved, and there's always been amateur radio on Mir and the space shuttles and the ISS. It's not just a toy on the ISS. They did use our system when they were doing some planned maintenance on their main communication system. But you and I just wish that the astronauts could break free for a little bit more spare time and work some simplex contacts with us. But it's not as if they're up there relaxing and reading their Kindles. Those engineers and scientists are busy all the time. The low Earth orbiting satellites, we can work with handheld equipment about 200 to 300 miles above the Earth. They will be going north to south or south to north, a geosynchronous pattern, so that they're getting hit with sunlight. The solar panels are getting hit with sunlight at least twice on every revolution. We don't have a geosynchronous amateur satellite for Central, South, and North America. There's one over Africa. It was primarily a commercial bird, but has amateur payload on it. If you had asked AMSAT 10, 15 years ago, will we have a geosynchronous satellite over the Americas? No. It's way too expensive. It's got to be a maneuverable satellite so we don't bump into your ESPN Super Bowl coverage. But you know what? We've got a SpaceX board member who's a ham radio operator. That might be our piggyback launch opportunity. It might happen. This is not a proclamation. This is not AMSAT or anybody talking. I just think for the next 10 years, can you imagine that? It's not going to be 2 meter 440, it'll be 5 and 10 gig, but still less than $500 for you and I to put the station together. But for your regional disasters or American Red Cross work, having that 24/7, that is going to be exciting. Watch for that in the next few years. Donate to AMSAT, please. You'll run into a few terms while working with satellites. Orbit is simply the path of a satellite around the Earth. Doppler, There's a Doppler accommodation you must make on the 440 side of these crossband repeaters in the sky. I asked both David and Daryl, did you all bring your slide rules this evening?
I left mine at home.
We got some. Okay, I don't see anybody whipping them out. Oh, okay. Let's say the satellite is transmitting on 435/300. 435/300. My mnemonic device is to acquire slightly above. So either VFO or program 305 and 310, and acquire it up there. When do you change frequency? There's no definitive moment in time. It's all the human ear, just whatever sounds better. So you'll be flipping back and forth. Your 2-meter transmit, or your 2-meter side, is going to stay static. You don't have to worry about that. So work it in the center, and as you lose it, it'll be slightly below the center of frequency. So here's the calc. Here's how we can do this. But I don't see anybody else with. Nobody has their slide rules. Huh. Okay. Well, we'll come back. We'll do this at midnight. We'll come back and have a special show at midnight and do this. But I did it for you already. Here's a decent pass of a 2-meter 440 FM bird. Look on 2 meters there, just plus or minus 3 kilohertz deviation. No big deal, no big deal. But look, just due to the nature of Doppler, a whopping 20 kilohertz of deviation on that 440 signal, whether it's being transmitted or received. So that's why, for best results, you want to accommodate for Doppler, whether you're transmitting on 440 or receiving on 440. If LEO is an acronym for low Earth orbiting, then HEO must mean, the mic is off, high Earth orbiting. Thank you. And thank you. It is F sharp and geosynchronous. That's redundant. Uplink is your transmitted signal to the satellite. Downlink is the signal from it. Footprint will be the oval or circular area on Earth where you should be line of sight to the satellite. And the programs I'm going to talk about and the software and the websites, they're usually really conservative with that footprint. If it's 7 or 10 degrees above the horizon and you have nothing, no mountains blocking you or foliage, 10 degrees, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't you know why that's there? Now, some of you are thinking, why? Why do this? These should not be in anybody's 911 plan because no one monitors these. These are not for disasters. Why even bother with these 10 or 12-minute conversations that during scouting events or field day or weekends are just crowded and chaotic? You've got your DMR network there. It's the North Texas DMR group you're involved with. Yep. Why even mess with this? It's just another aspect of this magnificent hobby we call amateur radio. I am waiting to be able to go back to public parks with a tape measure beam, sit down at a park bench and either talk to terrestrial stations or a satellite. Of course, I will have the Carrollton MetroCrest membership form with me. As we talk to parents, what are you doing at school? What are the kids doing at school? Are you learning math? What about, it just stimulates conversation. It just promotes the hobby, and it can be done with a technician's license. God, I'm using my hands a lot. I apologize. Mamma mia. That's why we do this. Let's fast forward back to 2004 when AMSAT launched AO51. This was the most successful, phenomenal teaching and learning tool we had for the amateur satellites. It cost a little bit more, 110 grand in 2004 than it cost in the 60s. There it is, a little CubeSat platform. There we are in the front center of the payload. There are 3 of that similar chassis, but we're the only amateur gear on that payload. We had 4 VHF receivers. We turned it into 1.2 gig uplink mode for those who had the Alinco or the Icon little 1.2 gig radio. We would go into schools and just, it's just so easily heard, so easily worked. And we've been trying since. It's passed away. It's no longer in service. Been trying to duplicate the wonderfulness of AO51. Again, the ones we're going to work are sun synchronous. That's redundant. When your wife goes on her first trip to Tibet for 6 weeks, and you're home alone, you go to AMSAT UK or go to a control operator's site and pull down the programs to decode telemetry for some of the telemetry birds. Now, excuse me if this is too geeky, but man, solar panel conditions, battery conditions, transmission levels, you record it on your station and then upload it to them across the planet. Just let them know how their bird is working on the other side of the world. Just cool stuff. But again, your significant other needs to be in another zip code. The Saudis have a bird up for us. Okay, show of hands, folks. How many have had a HT battery last for 19 years? 19 years.
Nope.
19, no. This satellite was launched in 2002. So that's before lithium ion. It's a NiCad chemistry of some sort. It's still running for us 24/7. Now it's a little, the technical term, you guys can look this up, the technical term, it's a little finicky. It's a little off frequency. It's a little difficult. You will need a full 4 or 5 watts and a better antenna to get into it. But 19 years, SO50, only 250 milliwatts coming down, but very workable with an HT and a better antenna. AO27, it died about 10 years ago. And about 7 years ago, 6 years ago, we have no idea why, but it came back to life. I added Gene Wilder there for you, Darren.
The aliens fixed it for us.
Well, cold solder joints don't repair themselves in space. We're not sure, but the Wyrics have, for about 6 months to about the last year, it's been on for about the first 3 or 4 minutes of a North American pass and the last 3 or 4 minutes. Its internal timing and housekeeping is being worked on. So it's not there for you as much, but program for it and just watch AMSAT or ARISS for its status. A wonderful satellite, and yeah, so coming back to life is always a nice surprise. Unfortunately, our AO91 and 92 are not performing anywhere near what we want them to be. We don't use the F word in science, do we? We don't failure. We don't use failure because you learn, yeah, that F word, not that F word. You always learn something from what's going on. Please do not try to work 92 at all. Please do not try to work 92 at all. And 91 only when it's being hit by the sun. Please, it'll be tempting at 2 or 3 in the morning for you insomniacs. Oh my God, 91's going right. No, please, the battery situation is that dire. Please only try to work AO91 when it's being hit by the sun. They just didn't come to fruition. We're working on it. So the minimum requirements for working these, the modern Yaesu HT, well, modern, from the FT60 forward, the Yaesu HTs will allow you to program split frequencies in one memory location. 2 meter up, 440 down, or vice versa. Not duplex at all. You'll never hear anything in your earpiece when you key the mic. But it's preferable to work full duplex, but not absolutely mandatory. During field day events and crazy weekends, please consider doing it that way. But off peak hours, just treat it like your local repeater. You don't intentionally step on someone. You wait for a break in the action, then key your mic. Off peak hours, you can do it with a better antenna, 1 or 2 or a second radio, then some software. Any FT60 owners on the show this evening? Any FT60s?
Whole bunch
man,
of
oh man, man, oh man.
Hello.
This is an 18-year-old rig, and there's no FM voice HT that matches its feature set. 1,000 memories, easy to manually program, large legible display, strongest belt clip of any HT on the amateur market, and that wonderful battery situation. You populate that FBA 25 tray with 6 alkalins or 6 nickel hydrides. You have full transmit power available if you really need it. You put your AA pack on your THF6, you got a half a watt for 10 minutes. You put your AA pack on your FT70, you've got 300 milliwatts for 5 minutes. FT60 is a phenomenal little rig. So if anybody is looking for one or needs to recommend one, it's still out there, still available from Yaesu and Ham Radio Outlet. HamRadioOutlet.com, the largest amateur radio dealership in the known universe. When you program a split frequency in a Yaesu rig, both the plus and the minus sign will show up in your display. For your FT60 owners, it's on page 28-ish of your manual. Much easier to do that with software, either RT Systems software or the Yaesu software. Improve your stock duck for receiving that slow scan TV or receiving the 2 meter from the satellites. That SRH320 is a wonderful antenna, extremely popular, but it's always 14 inches long, and it's $50. For half the price and a better performer on 2 meters, hams like deals, don't they?
Yes, it
Yeah, half the price, better performer, is that Smiley on the right. It's a collapsible metal rod which I usually don't recommend putting on your delicate HT connectors. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I just bent that 90 degrees without putting stress on my radio. There's a coil in the base, and it comes in BNC, SMA male, SMA female. Smiley antennas, HTantennas.com is their site, or Ham Radio Outlet again carries those. Oh, there we go. So that's the accidental drop or the accidental bending of the antenna you can do with that Smiley antenna. If you're going to be changing antennas a lot on your HTs, just know that quality SMA connectors are only rated at 300 to 500 disconnects. And if you're using a lesser radio or one they import from, I can't say Baofeng, it's against my religion. But if you're using a cheaper radio, that is not a quality SMA connector. So get an adapter. Here's an adapter on that was made by Stephen Goulias, a ham on the East Coast. A little cushion there, SMA to BNC, and then use BNC antennas. But I think that antenna connector by Yaesu, the CN3 on the left, should be outlawed. Oh, really, Clint? Yes, here is why. Imagine putting heavy coax or a longer antenna, or actually dropping either one of these two units. The CN3 on the left, the arrow is showing you it's metal-to-metal contact that'll be yanking against the center pin on your radio. It's going to fail during your net. It's going to fail during your event. It's going to fail it's going to fail. But look at the one on the right. It's got cushion to it, a rubbery cushion to it. Comet makes a couple adapters, something to allow you to make a couple of mistakes. I hate to harp on this, but when I worked at HRO, we hams dropped radios, and this is a very common repair problem. Now that CN3 is bad, but you engineers have seen this in the field before. PL and N down to SMA. Ugh.
Yikes.
All right, is it dinner time there? Okay, I hope not, because
The following is not suited for minors. Viewer discretion is advised.
if you have a pacemaker or if you just ate, please turn away and do not look at this next slide.
Oh,
If they're connected a third of a dB loss each, I think that there's an there's a cable TV connector. Don't do this to the hobby. Don't let a reporter from the local newspaper say, oh, that's why they call it amateur radio. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. HRO, did I mention a ham radio outlet before? They carry jumper cables for you. They even have these two little diamond on the right there, carries a couple. The physical characteristics of how that antenna mates to radio bodies is very different. So ask a friend with your same radio model which adapter they're using. And just that little MH209 SMA antenna there in the middle, that is my favorite of the very, very inefficient, very, very stupid antennas. But it's cool. I take it with me to baseball games. Laws of physics, that is not doing anything. It's just receiving a strong signal.
you know what it's really
cool.
called? It's really called a dummy load. Okay.
Sure. And we all know that our stock ducts are -5, -7, -9 dB, negative at best. So we got that. We're going the wrong way, Clint. Go the other way. When your wife goes on her second trip to Tibet for 6 weeks, you whip out your Motorola signal generator and you start testing HT antennas. This is a total waste of time. If you have a new member, a new enthusiastic, energy-filled new member, guys and gals, I'm going to test HT antennas and post my results on the way. Just grab him or her by the shoulders and say, no. The laws of physics haven't changed. As we all learned in adolescence, longer is better. About 17 inches is where we want our 2-meter 440 HT antenna.
We lost your audio. We're having an audio problem. Can you hear me? Nod. Okay.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Now you're back.
I never left ye. Anyway, for VHF and UHF, don't test antennas. It's a waste of time. Double your. Remember this ad campaign? And yes. Daryl and David, this is no extra charge for this advice. I'm a big fan of turning your transmit power down to 2 watts and improving your antenna. If you're not making it line of sight FM voice on 2-meter, 220, or 440 with a 17-inch antenna, either from Smiley or from Diamond, You're not going to make it at 4 or 5 watts. Engineers, am I correct?
Yep.
Yes. So I just doubled your battery life for you. No extra charge. You want to improve your battery life even more? Use an earpiece or a headset. What is the first thing you'll do to the volume control if you're using an earpiece?
Turn it down.
You'll try. What eats up batteries? Keying the mic and transmitting and loud audio. So there, you don't need to get a second battery pack immediately for your FT70. Double your pleasure. Half your power and get a better antenna. Get perpendicular. I actually had this as a bumper sticker on my car until I realized I really needed to respect my my marriage more. Yeah, that's true. That's true, though. That's true, though. When you key your mic on your HT out in the front yard, your emitted signal is leaving about the top third of the antenna, going essentially 90 degrees out, hitting your friend across the street or your hilltop repeater. Well, most of the amateur satellites are not land-based. 3, 2, 1. Most of our amateur satellites are not land-based, so you need to get that perpendicular relationship to the orbit of the satellite. Got it? Tilt it up or down. When will you know you have it? Well, you'll start hearing a slight dip in the background noise, and that's when you start capturing it. And you'll hear voices a couple minutes later. But if you're using a whip antenna for 2-meter receive, get perpendicular. That bumper sticker is available for a donation to AMSAT. At the Santa Barbara Fair a few years ago, I'm sorry, but when you do get this old, you get sentimental over photos like this. The young man in red, high school student, just got his amateur radio license the day before. His very first amateur radio contact was working AO51 with me at the fair. But it gets better. His dad and his grandfather were there. I had 3 generations, each working amateur radio satellites for the very first times. So in my left breast pocket in the coffin, I want the picture of my wife, and on the right side, this picture just does me in. The Arrow antenna is a Yagi, a crossband Yagi. It's about 3.5 pounds, and when you're holding it at its end, it's front heavy. It puts some stress on your shoulder, elbow, and wrist. So what I've done with mine, I've actually made it all heavier, but it's counterbalanced. Here's a little tray in the back, which will accommodate the handheld radio. This particular Arrow antenna has the diplexer built into the handle, so it's one lead coming into the radio. And that Stanley hacksaw handle, available at Lowe's or Home Depot, just makes the whole thing ergonomic. Because almost 13 years ago now, the arrow is pointing to the defect. And right there, Ortho, Texas, they diagnosed this. It took about 3 weeks. They diagnosed what the problem was. It was arrow wrist syndrome. Oh, the band is here. Do I have to pay union? Oh, man. Thank you, guys. Arrow wrist syndrome. Don't be a victim of arrow wrist syndrome. Make that whole thing economic. There it is. The bottle of Tang is empty. That's just my homage to the U.S. space race. This is at Harrio Outlet again. My little cue card at the end, we're working slow scan TV from the ISS. The guy on the roof, that must be my parole officer taking evidentiary photos. And Joe Walsh has been a fan of amateur radio for a long time. And hold everything together with a little charity bracelet or something. So again, it increases the weight of the whole unit, but it's now counterbalanced. It feels really good. It feels really nice holding that for 10 or 12 minutes. Now you need to know where these are. These are not geosynchronous. This is one of my favorite drawings. Here is your AMSAT bow. This is what you're getting into, Bo. Here's your AMSAT engineering team, hard at work, 24/7, deriving past data for hams. Here we are. That's the second slide rule reference. I want to know how many times they've had slide rule references in the last 20 years. It's easy to do with your slide rule. You got your slide rules out. All you do is plug in the epoch time, element set, inclination, RIF node, eccentricity, arc of the perigee, mean anomaly, mean motion, decay rate, the epoch revolution. Don't forget the checksum. Don't forget the checksum. And you plot out on equatorial graph paper every pass you want to work, every day, every satellite. Easy to do. You got middle schools. You got that? Everybody got that? Yeah, right. Got it? Okay, cool. It's all done for you. Anybody still using a Palm device? Anybody still got that Trio 650? Don't laugh. You can still get batteries at batteriesamerica.com, batteriesamerica.com. They've been around for 30 years. They've never disappointed me in 3 decades of working with them. Batteriesamerica.com. They also carry a lot of the AA packs for your older HTs. Batteriesamerica.com. Okay, no palm people. Here's a trivia question in this Android software. What's wrong with this picture?
Oh,
Sounds
AO 51.
synchronous. But will it ever go east to west or west to east? This is why we're beta testing this software. This is a pass of one of these geosynchronous birds that'll never happen. It has been fixed. It is now known as AMSAT Droid Free, AMSAT Droid Free in the Google Play Store. Beautiful representations and maps for you of all the satellite passes you would want. There are no more of those left. There's one in the Smithsonian. There's no one in Carrollton.
BlackBerry.
No, okay. gpredict for you Linux folks. Oh my gosh, this is a phenomenal program. I take this with me to shows. There it is running on a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. It'll run on a lesser Pi. Obviously, it's tracking multiple satellites for you. It'll control some rotators for you. gpredict, it's free. It can be ported to Mac and to Windows through other utilities. But gpredict it's running 24/7 almost all the time. 24/7 almost all the time. I run it a lot. It's a great program. But my go-to for the iPhone or the iPad is GoSatWatch. GoSatWatch in the App Store. It's not cheap. It's $10. It's $9.95. Written by a Canadian ham. What's important to me as I recommend things to you is the author responsive and is it up to date? 2 years ago, NASA changed the manner by which we acquired past data for the ISS. This gentleman had his program recalculated, reprogrammed, and up on the App Store within 3 weeks for us. That is receptive. That is cool. GoSatWatch. GoSatWatch for your iPhone. $9.95. It is a fellow ham. For Windows folks, SatPC32 is a commercial program. If you're a member of AMSAT, you get a little bit of discount on it. Another beautiful representations. It also control rotators for you. Nova for Windows was a commercial program. It's no longer supported. Very popular. I have some friends, not Windows 11, but some working with Windows 10 and before. Nova for Windows. There's a code on websites of mine that you can unlock it. And then any Mac people? Any Mac people in there?
There's a couple.
Any hands raising? Just a couple? Okay, I apologize for this. Look at that beautiful high-res Mac Doppler Pro screenshot versus the Jiffy. No, I apologize. My change of life was in 2006. After 22 years in Windows, I changed overnight, literally overnight, to Mac, and my blood pressure's been down ever since. But Mac Doppler Pro, another commercial program. You get some money off, some dollars off of it if you are a member of AMSAT. All right, it is break time just for a second. Cafeto.com. I don't believe I'm doing this. I sound like I'm Johnny Olson. This is the man's name is Sergio. He owns this family-run coffee beanery up in Oregon. Cafeto.com. Cafeto.com. Wonderful coffee. This is an unsolicited testimonial. Cool stuff. All right, it is that time. It is our homage to this gentleman who has tonight's Jeopardy final sentence. I have to play that entire 30 seconds. I'll tell you why in a minute. Who has the final Jeopardy response?
We believe it's who is Kepler?
Oh my God, he did it in the form of a question too. You are absolutely positively 100% correct. Johnny Kepler, Johannes Kepler. And just think of that white mathematical statement describing, all it does is describe an orbit of a satellite. Johannes Kepler. And then that tonight at midnight, my time, 2 o'clock in the morning, your time, we'll decipher some of these in a special private Zoom meeting. I need to thank Sony Entertainment Network because I'm serious. I pay for that. And if I don't play that entire 30 seconds and don't say this, they have really, really arrogant attorneys. There's some free stuff for you online. Yeah, hey, yeah. And you know how much money there is in amateur radio for us end users. Free stuff online. Heavensabove.com is wonderful. Heavens-above.com. Don't need to write this stuff down. It's all on my website. N2YO.com, N2YO.com, and good old AMSAT.org, AMSAT.org. The first two give you the graphical representations. AMSAT, like this. AMSAT will give you that. What? What you're looking for is the column that says maximum elevation. You don't want to waste your time with 5, 6, 7, 8 degree passes. So I ran Carrollton, and we came up, look at that. You can't miss it, the big arrow. 75 degrees elevation. Let's decode this. Let's decode this. Okay, the red arrows are showing you the date and the time. All AMSAT data is Greenwich Mean Time, UTC time. Okay? I've gotten phone calls at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Clint, it's not there. It's not there. Well, are you using AMSAT's site? Yeah, I am. You told me to. Did you back out for Greenwich Mean Time? Click. So Greenwich Mean Time. So 1:47 UTC time on the 16th, minus 5 hours for Carrollton. Correct? 5 hours from Greenwich Mean Time because I'm 7. Is 5 correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's 8:47 p.m. the day before. Awesome. That's a phenomenal pass. Okay, so let's go to the next red arrows. You're going to acquire, and this is not north, the ISS is not north to south, south to north. It's on a equatorial type of a, when you see it, it's a beautiful orbit. But you're going to acquire it on the compass at 228. Okay, that's the AOS. The next set of red arrows, the maximum elevation is going to be 75 degrees. My gosh, that's 3/4 of the way up the sky. Up the sky is 90. Hand width down, it's almost overhead, and it'll be at its maximum elevation when it's at 75 degrees on, 317 on the compass. 75 degrees, and then you're going to lose it 44. So this is a phenomenal pass tomorrow at 8:47 p.m. to work the International Space Station's crossband repeater, which is still up and running. So you look for the maximum elevation and then back everything out. So you just decoded that entire sheet of stuff. You got it. You guys are you folks can do this. This is a great group. Worksat.com, my website. The gentleman who runs N2YO, well, he is N2YO. Maybe this little widget, which shows you where the popular satellites are right now. As you start out, think of using 2 sources for satellite pass data, because the errors I have made, either the wrong location or the wrong time of day, daylight savings time. So either those 2 pieces of the puzzle are wrong, you're not going to get pass data for your location. So use 2 different sources for info, and if they both coincide, you probably have things right. The general procedures for working these, you're going to listen, you're going to monitor the downlink. This sounds weird, and SO50 is the exception. But if you don't hear it, don't key your mic. Sounds weird. But we know that AO27 is being worked on. We want the control operators to have it only, not us messing with it. Your AMSAT folks, you have you have scores and scores of AMSAT folks in Texas. There's going to be somebody for you on the FM satellite. It's almost guaranteed, almost every pass. So wait for your AMSAT folks or someone else south of you or north of you, then get into it. SO50 is the exception. I'll tell you about that in a second. Be courteous and quick. Know your grid square. A lot of hams are going after grid square contests, grid square recording, Boy Scout events, field days. They are just, some hams just get upset with me by getting excited about that. But that just, when it's a pile up like that, more power is not getting you in. It's just timing. So my 5 watts is good, and you'll hear the people. You'll hear this guy in Texas, not in your city. He's over in Dallas. Foot switch, 100 watts, pina colada. Oh no, it's brown liquor of some sort. Reverb and working the birds. But please know, Bo, I need you. I didn't report this yet to AMSAT, but I did a survey 2 weeks ago. 94.7% of amateur radio satellite operators are just fine people. There's no one out there really trying to step on you, no one out there with malicious interference. We were afraid with the proliferation of $25 and $35 radios, we would have some problems. I'm in Southern California, the most populous state, in the most populous region of that state in the Union. We just haven't had that malicious interference that could be so easy to accomplish. So just know It's going to be busy on Saturdays at lunchtime. Monday through Friday after dinner or early in the morning are going to be better times to succeed. How far can you go with these low FM birds? This is by no means a record, but I went 2,000 miles from Southern California to Georgia. Again, by no means a record. Can I duplicate this every day? Absolutely not. It's just letting you know that the footprint in the upper right-hand side, that footprint that says I was only going to go 500 miles, was a little bit too conservative. I have to admit, I was using a full 4 watts. It was a 4-degree elevation pass for me. It was a better elevation pass for the gentleman in Georgia. But that's what can be done. That's what can happen. All right, if we were at 1111 Beltline Road, and some of you are, who knows what the grid square is at the Gravely Center? Is it Gravely or Gravely?
Gravely. EM12 November Whiskey.
But as you just heard, please use the internationally accepted phonetics. That's not Elmer Murray. That's Echo Mike. That's what the astronauts are expecting. That's what your fellow hams are expecting. And again, you don't need a suffix. Echo Mike 1-2. Yes, and that is your building. That's your complex, isn't it? Yep. Okay. Cool.
That's where we are right now.
There's that antenna on that car right there too. That red car. What I take with me to shows, I've got the Kenwood THD 72, which was the last manufactured full duplex radio that worked well in both UHF VHF and VHF UHF modes. But for the price of it, someone can buy 2 FT60s, an aero antenna, and take their spouse out to lunch. So I will take the FT60. I'll turn it down to 2 watts. The last show I did was I took the log periodic from Elk. Wonderful antenna. What's the difference between the Elk and the Arrow in performance? The log periodic by design is a wider frequency response. So many satellite operators will tell you it just does not, this is not scientific wording, I'm sorry, but doesn't definitively pick up the initial transmissions from the satellite as well as the narrower banded Arrow does. They're each a phenomenal investment. They're wonderful investments for you. The question is, wait a minute, Clint, you said that tape measure beam for $15 works. Why should I invest $160 when 15 works? Well, what is the gain involved between the two, pun intended. You have to figure that out for yourself. If you just want to dabble in this, build yourself a tape measure beam. If you really think you might want to carry it around in cars and travel, use the Arrow or the Elk. If you take a tape measure beam with you to the airport, it will be a guaranteed cavity search. So give yourself at least 3 hours at the airport. Here is how I programmed my radios for SO50. Most of the satellites require a tone on your uplink, a tone on transmit. This one requires a 67.0. Notice the transmit frequency of 145.80 remains the same. The receive, though, is where we accommodate for Doppler. Channel 206 is the middle. It's a little off frequency, but it's rocket science. Don't worry about it. So 436.795 and acquire it at 800 and 805. Don't go up to 810. Don't go out. That was Clint being retentive. Don't just go to 800, 805. Work it there as it gets right over you, 795, and then below. But what is that? Is that blue? Do you have that blue arrow on your screen? Anybody know what that 74.4 is there for?
Nope.
Okay. So you've worked SO50 before. You've gotten into satellites. You know what you're doing. But insomnia hits. You go into the shack. Oh my God, SO50 is going over me in 10 minutes. You go outside. You know it's there because you've worked it successfully in the past. You key the mic and nothing happens. Tune to 74.4 and turn the satellite on. You become the control operator of SO50. A fellow ham south of you or north of you may not have known how to turn it on. You know. Bo, you think I wasn't scared crudless the first time I did that? I thought, oh my God, it's going to crash in my koi pond. The AMSAT handcuffs are going to be tight. Don't worry about it. If it just happens to be off peak hours and it doesn't come back to you and you know it's there because you've played with your software before and it's been reliable for you, shoot it at 74.4 for a few seconds. then go back to 67.0 and work it. You become the control operator of a satellite. How cool is that? Here's how I program for 91. You notice that the transmit frequency, the receive frequency is 2 meters, so the receive frequency is not going to change, but you're going to accommodate for Doppler on the transmit frequency because it's on the 440 side. And again, please only attempt 91 when you're getting sunburned. Let's put this all together because we're almost through with part one. You know when the satellite will be there, you know where it's going to be in the sky, you know your grid square. You went to my website and got the frequencies, or the AMSAT got the frequencies, your radio's programmed. You wait for, did I say, oh, that's so tacky. Siri, change that word for me. Oh, there we go, putting. Okay, putting it all together. You know, when it's there, where it's grid square, the radio is programmed. Wait for a break in the action, then key your mic. Use your own call sign, please. Kilo 6 Lima Charlie Sierra, Echo Mike 1-2. And then some AMSAT folks don't like me saying this, but handheld or demo. If I was there with you in Carrollton doing this, I would say demo. That lets other operators know, hey, he's in front of a group. Let's come back off a little bit. Let's let this low power unit in. Or handheld, same thing. Here's somebody that might be newer, low power. Let's let them in. It's only a third of a second of airtime. I wouldn't say Kilo 6 Lima Charlie Sierra Echo Mike 1-2 in front of 375 people at Carrollton, Texas this evening. You know, just get that in there quickly. And on the weekends and on these contests, it's going to be quick. It's just going to be an exchange of grid square and have a nice day. Not going to be talking about the weather. Then here's the responsibility you and I have as we work the satellites, whether we hear them as we thought we were going to, or whether something's wrong and we didn't hear it when we should have been there. This is the AMSAT Live Oscar satellite status page. And all this info is data from you and I inputted into this website to let not only fellow hams know what's running and up, but let's control operators either here or on the other side of the planet know that their commands took, that their birds are working. So here is, is very top 150? I can't see it on mine. But anyway, blue is good. So the top one I believe is SO50, almost all blue. AO91, only in daylight, mostly blue. Look at the ISS FM crossband repeater. There's some spots of red in there. International Space Station equipment will be turned off during spacewalks and when missions head toward it and when missions leave it. So that's why there's some little red spots in there. But ISS FM, PO101 or Daiwata 2 is an FM bird you can work, but it's not on 24/7. It's got we'll talk about its schedule in a second. It only comes on for a few hours or a few orbits every few days. So I don't talk about it much because I'd rather you get started with the ones that are there for you all the time. And okay, I apologize. What is that's AO27 at the top. I'm sorry, that's AO27 at the top. And it's just not working because we know that its timing is off. Then the very bottom one is SO50. Look at that, blue all the way across. There's Daiwata 2B's Twitter feed telling us that on the 14th and 15th of the month, they'll be on just for 2 hours there and 2/3 of a day there. So it's like an FM bird, but just you have to throw the extra part of the equation in of figuring out when it's going to be on for you. It's not on 24/7. So it's easy to set up. This website has a drop-down menu for what satellite you worked, whether the uplink and downlink were active, or if you didn't hear it and you thought you should have. It reverts to the last 15-minute period. K5GIL.
Wow.
Well, look at that.
Thanks for working a bird for me.
Yeah, cool. Oh, David was working, ISS FM repeater. And that little donate button there, that goes right to AMSAT, 100% to AMSAT. Slow scan television from the ISS. This can be as easy to receive and decode as holding up your HT to your smartphone with a $3 app on it, no cables, no Windows drivers, just receiving it and decoding those signals, the images they send down. And did you know that just by hearing the ISS, just hearing it, not transmitting to it or through it, qualifies you for that gorgeous QSL card in the upper right? If you just hear it, a packet burst or somebody talking on it, you can apply and get your QSL card. Then when you work at crossband repeat or work at packet later, apply for the same QSL card again. But there's last June's. Russia does a lot of SS TV projects. Many times they are Russian-centric, which means they're only on over Europe and Russia. It's not a Cold War. It's not a battle. It's just the nature of things. Don't worry. There'll be worldwide slow scan TV projects for us this year.
How to get the QSL card?
How to get the QSL card? Bruce Hunter here in Southern California is the QSL ISS manager. His mailing instructions and address are on my website on the SSTV page. And no matter which bureau you use for this, put a buck in the envelope. These folks are all volunteers. Yeah, get them a cup of coffee. Oh shoot, what's that? Oh, what? I'm sorry, guys. Just a second. Clint, talk about. Oh, okay. Hey, thanks. I will do that right now. Okay, cool. All right, let's talk more about the ISS. There is our 2-meter 440 antenna on the Columbus module. No, that's not Clint, but there's our 2-meter 440 antenna. There are antennas on the Russian module, the service module. There is a page that ARIS maintains, ARISS maintains, that tells us the status of that equipment. So for the Columbus module, it's telling us that the Kenwood D710GA is indeed configured and it's on for crossband repeater. It's telling us it's going to be off for EVAs, and it's going to be off for when missions head towards it or leave it. The service module, the Russian module, that is part 2, the second radio in ARIS's 10-piece interoperable radio system that they're putting up there for us. We're going to have an ARIS Pi that you and I might be able to access. Ooh, how cool! But anyway, there's it's not, the source module radio is not active right now, but this page, the links on my website, lets you know if you don't hear the crossband repeater, oops, it might be on packet, but this page will let you know. Don't need to write this down. This is all on my website, but here are the ISS frequencies. Please, if you're going to work simplex voice with the astronaut, please program both region 1 and region 2-3. It's the same downlink, 145.800, but program both of those uplinks in your radios, 145.2, 144. You would just hate to know that your neighbor worked him or her successfully, but they happen to have been on the wrong frequency. So just they didn't flip the switch. So make sure you have both of those in your machine. SSTV is coming down to 145.800, packet is 145.825. And there is the crossband repeater. That frequency is weird, but it's correct. 145.99 uplink with the 67.0 tone. And then 437.800 on the downlink. These passes are so quick. A lot of hams are working the crossband repeater without accommodating for Doppler on 440. But it's a cool experiment to go out in the street or in the backyard and just fiddle with the knobs and find out how much the difference, it really is noticeable. And that's all on my website. What we got? That's the end of part 1. Cool. You don't need to write anything down. If you go to my website, God, that's busy. If you go to my website, the front page, and scroll all the way down to the bottom, right there in the middle is Satellite Show Citations. Say that quickly 3 times with my pain meds. Yeah, Satellite Show Citations. And there's a page, everything we just talked about in chronological or in the order of the presentation. Karen, do you have any questions in the chat room by any chance? No questions in the chat room. Anybody in the meeting hall have any questions I could try to answer for you?
Questions from the room. You can grab the talking stick.
A lot of you have already done this. How many AMSAT members in the room do we have this evening? How many AMSAT members? Outstanding. Outstanding.
You want to know how to fund it?
Yeah. While they're thinking of questions, either Daryl or David, how'd you find me?
This is great. I will ask you a trivia question since you paid Sony for the music.
Keep going.
You get a bonus point if you'll tell me who wrote the Jeopardy theme.
Merv Griffin.
Bingo! He's got that right. Yeah. Merv Griffin wrote that, and every time it's played, Merv's family gets a little ching-ching. That's right.
Cha-ching.
So think about how many times Vanna... No. Just wrong game show.
Yeah, wrong game show.
Anywho.
Same owners, but... So a lot of you have already done this. for those of you who haven't done it, you think you might want to think of doing this, at least maybe monitor that 2-meter signal from the crossband repeater as it goes over. Sounds like something you might want to just do. Anybody catch the bug?
I think you've planted the seeds for us when it's not near spontaneous human combustion temperatures outside. We might try this maybe in a more nice part of the year. I will ask you a question, though, just since you're plugged in. Just in the next maybe year or two, do we have some more little baby birds that might be starting to fly?
I'd like to turn that over to Bo. Bo, are you still with us?
Yeah, still here.
What's next from AMSAT?
Okay, I didn't. I was talking while you talked. So anyway, I think the answer to that is yes, although without a timetable. Keeping in mind that it's not only AMSAT that's launching these assets.
Right.
There's quite a few organizations around the world, universities, things like that, that are launching these as student projects, and many of them are carrying a amateur radio payload.
Sweet. So just check AMSAT for news, because I'm sure that the website would cover whatever's going on around the world for new birds.
Please check your ARRL website, AMSAT, and ARIS. Now, we recorded the presentation this evening, and there are a few videos of this presentation out there, but I haven't done a generic one because everything I told you tonight is going to change in 3 weeks. This is like printing a nonfiction book. It's outdated by the time it gets to Amazon. As you saw, there's 22 slides in there that were Carrollton specific. So who wants to watch, someplace else on the planet wants to watch that? But the outdatedness of it. So please, as you cruise the web for information, make sure the information is dated for you. 3 years ago, right before the pandemic, I had a scout leader call me. He was irritated with me. He couldn't work AL51 for his crowd of about 300 people. Well, AL51 died 8 years ago. But if you search the web for easy to work satellites, it's easy. It's there. And so if the website isn't keeping things up, my website was last updated an hour and 40 minutes ago, ARIS and AMSAT all the time. Just make sure that whatever information you're using, the website owners respect you enough to date what you're looking at. So that's why it's not a disclaimer, but 3 weeks from now, the ISS might be in packet mode, which makes this whole 2 hours moot.
Cliff.
Yes.
I have a question on, there's a tracking software. See, it's called SatTrack. It's available on iPhone. I don't know if it's available anywhere else. It costs about the same as the one you proposed. It's about $10. What do you think of that? Have you ever used that, and can you compare it with what you proposed?
There are about 20 programs for Android, Windows, Mac, and iOS, and the Samsung phones, Android phones, already said that. Almost all are marvelous. They're all going to be accurate for you. For starting off, again, please use 2 sources. One of the free sources we talked about, or AMSAT, just to make sure things are lining up. But whatever you get used to, whatever author is responsive to you, whatever answers you can get in news groups for your questions regarding the software, that's where I'm coming from. So yes, there's SuitSat, or there's a lot of them out there. There's one out there called Orbitron, which some satellite aficionados swear by. It hasn't been updated in 17 years. That, to me, is just do Orbitron later. Experiment with it later. Use one of the freebies or very, very low cost ones now to get your feet wet, and then branch out to other things. Same thing with the antennas on my website. That tape measure beam antenna is there. The dual band tape measure beam. The dual band Yagi made out of barbed wire pieces. Barbed wire pieces successfully working an astronaut aboard the ISS. Barbed wire pieces. The plans for that are on my website. If you build those antennas to the letter, you won't need any meter. I apologize, engineers, but it's true. You won't need to test things if you build it to the letter. and it's just an easy way to get into it. Nobody asked about circular polarization. Hey, Clint, what do I hear about circular polarization? That's a great question. On the FM voice satellites, I'm really not affected by that phenomenon as much as sideband birds. Now, is it because there's so much gain in these antennas we're using that fade might not be being sensed? I'm not sure. I have sensed it when I lose SO50. When SO50 descends, any engineer in the room will tell you, you turn your Yagi 90 degrees, it's between a 3 and a 12 dB increase or decrease in signal strength. Well, every pass I've ever done, I will always subtly just twist and see if there's. So I think my problem is that there's so much gain in the antenna that if there is that phenomenon for the FM voice birds, I'm just not. Please don't worry about it. I have folks call me up and say, Clint, I could sense the satellite tumble. Yeah, it might be tumbling, but that's more of an equipment problem or something. I'm not sure, but the FM easy sats, you're not gonna have that problem. I have people call us say there's nobody ever on the satellites. And I go, well, where do you live? They say, well, I'm in Kansas. I say, well, you need to move. Move to Carrollton, move to the West Coast or East Coast, where there's almost. I never use absolutes. Any English teachers there? I never use absolutes, but there's almost always someone there for you. With you in Texas, and then on the East Coast or West Coast, working these north to south, south to north passes, you will get to a point where you won't take your printout of data. You'll just know whether it's going north to south or south to north, and whether it's going to be towards your east or towards your west.
So, Clint, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go.
Well, we've been admiring your background, and I'll just I'll plant
just a bed sheet.
I'll plant a seed for you for asking the XYL there for something to add to your collection. A few months ago, we had a wonderful presentation from Geochron, and we think a Geochron would be a great addition to your shack.
I want it. I wanted it.
Did I hear that correctly? You need my address?
The Geochron Digital. We think you need to add that to your personal wish list.
Oh! I thought that was my honorarium.
No.
For this evening.
No. We think that's something you should add as a project to add to your shack.
Geochron has the version that you run on your monitor on a 32-inch monitor.
Yes, that's the one we're talking about.
Which is gorgeous.
Yeah. That one's fantastic. Okay. Yeah, and it has all of your satellite tracking stuff. Now, for the cheapos like we have, we've got Ham Clock is another cheap way to do it.
Ham Clock is cool. Yeah. And Gpredict for Linux. Yep. I'm running it right now off a Raspberry Pi 3. It's just gorgeous, and it's all those modules, all those squares of the display are configurable to whatever you want to do, and tracking multiple satellites.
So put on your Santa wish list to get the Geochron Digital, put it behind you, so the next time you give this presentation, you can just point to the Geochron.
Okay. We'll do that.
Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us, because we understand you just are recovering from a bit of doctoring.
I just noticed the color of my skin is not usually orange, but I think it has something to do with the pills I'm taking. Thank you. I want to thank you. I got this mug.
Nice.
Off the website. Isn't that cool?
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, I had my left knee fixed. I had my shoulder fixed, rotator cuff last October. Yes. And then my left knee meniscus, just the tear was okay, but it flapped over, and that's what was driving me nuts. So just don't get old, folks. Just don't get old.
You just have to call you Steve Austin, the Bionic Man. There's Daryl.
Yeah, the left knee I think is about 20 years older than the other one, because I was umpire for several years for baseball, and that's the knee that gets stretched when you go in on right-hand batters. So I think that's why that might have deteriorated before the other one. But I hope I was coherent this evening, because there is some discomfort involved.
Go ahead, Daryl.
KG5E.
We're good. I sympathize with all your bionic replacements. I've got several myself.
All right. Well, we really appreciate it. We're a little ahead of you on the clock, so we're going to move on with the rest of our evening. But Clint and Bo, thank you very much for attending. We really appreciate it.
Oh, wow.
Round of applause for the room and from the Zoomers.
Before we leave, how did you find me? How did you find the presentation?
You're great.
No. How did you physically find me to be a speaker for you?
Let me answer that one, Dave.
Okay.
I was in Canada a couple of months ago, and for some reason I got to thinking about AMSAT. So I sent an email to the general email address for AMSAT, asked and told them who we were and what you could do, and then it cascaded down to you.
Okay, down to me.
Yeah.
Bo, I think it was Frank K. Bo got the inquiry.
Yeah. So I did that, and it came together nicely. And I'm going to have to renew my AMSAT. First satellite I worked was AO7, and so it's been a while.
Well, thank you, Carrollton. And boy, this is the most intelligent group of the 148. They knew every trivia question. You folks are wonderful. Thank you for the invite. Bo, thank you for sitting in. Bo is my boss, so he's going to critique me in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
See if I still have a job or not.
All right.
Thank you, Carrollton. Thank you very much.
73 to both of you. Have a great
7-3.
evening.
Welcome.